Spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the show that we are discussing today and want to avoid spoilers, stop right there. Go binge and come on back. If you have or don't mind spoilers, sit back with your favorite drink and enjoy. Welcome to Coffee and Dramas with your host Michael, who's on screen right now if you're watching on YouTube, and me, who's behind the screen just talking. My name's Nadia, by the way. Hi. Today we are talking about Let's Eat Season 1 with the cast of...
Okay, we have Soo Kyung, who's playing Soo Kyung. Yoon Jun, who's playing Koo Dae Young.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Yoon So-hee, who's playing is it Yoon Jin-yi?
Mm-hmm.
Jin-yi?
Yoon
Jin-yi.
Soo-hee?
Yoon So-hee?
Yeah.
Plays... Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, Jin-yi. Yeah. Okay.
Ginny.
Sorry.
She plays Ginny. And then you have... Oh my god, I forgot his name. Who plays Hak Moon? What's his face? Oh yeah. Shim Hyung Tak, who plays Kim Hak Moon. He plays a similar character in a recent show called Melt Me Softly, I think it is, with Ji Chan-wook. He plays like a similar weird character. Actually, no, I think he's weirder in the new show. But anyways.
This one he was just love sick.
I guess so, yeah. Yeah, we can go with that. So this show was an old, I don't want to say older show, but this is from 2014? 2013, excuse me.
Yeah.
2013. So I noticed, before we continue, there's a shift in production in the Korean, television.
Okay.
Right around, I want to say 2010, 2011, like 2012, you start to see a shift where the shows start to have a higher quality of production.
Oh, okay.
Where a lot of the shows start to have more of like a, I don't want to say movie style because that's like high budget, but more like, you know how shows here in the States, here in North America, where they'll go on for like 5, 6, 7 seasons, and by like the last 2 seasons, their quality is amazing.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is, but for their first season. So like it's like a higher budget. They put more money into it, which is interesting. So this is right around when you see that little change, because if you watch a show, well, I don't know, we'll say like a show called Full House with Rain. That's from 2004, and it just looks older. The quality looks like it's older, but it's not that old. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, 2004 is kind of far off from 2020, but like production shouldn't be any different. Yeah. Anyways, so this show is all about food.
Absolutely.
Right? Food. We all love food.
Yeah.
It's a great show. What it does, what it centers around, obviously it's food, right? And it centers around the love of food,
and bringing people together over food.
Exactly. And that's for those who like food, who like eating, this is a great show to watch.
Yeah.
Don't watch it hungry. Watch it while you eat, or watch it after you eat.
Whichever.
I don't know when you watch it, you're gonna be hungry either way. Like that's how
food looks amazing.
Yeah. So so it centers around food. A lot of the relationships in the show really evolve around food. Yeah. Especially the 3 main characters of Soo Kyung and Koo Dae Young and Ginny.
Well, they start a food club, don't they?
Yeah, a food club. Yeah. And they just go eat together.
Well, it works.
You need to get closer to the microphone. Sorry. Excuse me. Anyways, so they pretty much start like a food club, and they just go they just go random restaurants together because he's a
A
blogger.
food blogger?
Yeah. And and Soo Kyung just loves food.
But doesn't like to eat by herself.
No,
which
yeah, that's a
I feel like is an issue for her.
Mm. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with eating alone. Like we've all, okay, maybe not all of us done it, but I've done it way more times than I can count.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, he actually Koo Dae Young explains it at one point. He's like, why wouldn't you want to eat by yourself? It's the best time to eat by yourself because you don't have other people taking too long to decide what they want, and then you don't get to decide what you want because you're gonna feel bad, or you're gonna feel like you need to change your decision or whatever, and you don't have to waste time listening to the other person talking, and slowly eat because you're listening to them talk, or you're talking to them, so you're not eating, right? So sitting by yourself, you get to eat and enjoy the food, right? So that was I agree with that 100%.
That's funny. I feel like this show shows you, though, like the fact that even if you're with a bunch of people, that when good food is set in front of you, you kind of just all go quiet.
Yeah.
Like you just enjoy, like even if it's more like just shots that they're shooting of people enjoying their food, but it is kind of true. Like the moment some good food is put in front of you, you just want to eat. Like, why do I need to talk? Why do I need to converse with you? Let me eat for 5-10 minutes, and then we can continue the conversation after we're done.
I agree. And it sucks because if you go to people's houses, we'll say, like going to your parents' house, or my parents' house, it's like you're eating, and then the parents like, oh, why aren't you talking? What's wrong? And like, I'm just enjoying the food. The food is great. Let me eat it in peace.
But then if you talk too much, it's like, please just stop talking.
Yeah, it's like, stop talking, eat your food. And it's like, okay, I don't know if you want me to talk or not talk.
Yeah.
I just want to eat my food.
Yes.
No, exactly. It's funny because especially if you're going out with friends, it's a lot harder to like enjoy your food, but when there's good food, everybody shuts up.
Yeah.
Right. So like with my friends, with the guys, it's like if we're eating, we're eating.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's talking, and we're just enjoying our food. No one needs to talk. just let us enjoy the food.
Like,
you know,
even if it's pizza, like just enjoy it.
Exactly.
So you see characters develop and create relationships over food, but you also see you kind of get to see like people, like relationships grow outside of food too as well. So you see Miss Lee's boss.
Oh yeah.
And how he tries to take her out to food all the time, but she's avoiding him because she thinks he's crazy.
Right.
And
because he wanted his revenge, right? And he kept trying to he would just root to her a lot.
Right.
Right.
Oh, man. So weird. But you kind of just see the relationship grow outside of food and then with food as well. So I feel like everything around in this show revolves around food in some way.
Yeah.
But you also get to see what the relationships kind of evolve outside of it too.
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that they touch on, which I think they didn't really expand on, which isn't a bad thing, but it's the relationship between Soo Kyung and Koo Dae Young. So the two of them, because he's younger than she is, right? She's 35 and he's 30, right? And it turned into a Nuno romance, but the thing is, they kind of for a couple episodes, 2-3 episodes, they kind of address it that he's younger and like other people, and you see, that's where you see the society's input, I guess you can say, influence, where it's like, oh, he's younger, a woman shouldn't be younger, the man shouldn't be younger than the woman, you know what I mean? And that's like a big thing in society, right? Even here in North America for a while. It was like that. You know what I mean? Like in the last maybe 10, 15 years, 20 years, it wasn't so bad. But like in our culture, in the Arab culture, it's like
weird.
the woman needs to be younger. You know what I mean? The woman always has to be younger than the man. You know, and some of the Asian cultures too. So it's kind of like they talked about it a bit.
Yeah.
But the basis of the show revolves around food.
Yeah.
So they didn't really touch on it too much.
Yeah.
Which is kind of good because it was more like, oh, it's accepted. You know what I mean?
I think everyone around them accepted it.
Right, because they didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
Right? They didn't really think about it in any way, except for like the mom, but the mom didn't really, again, food. Right? She was like sucked
she
in.
was like in one episode and like she came in, fed her until she almost burst.
Yeah.
And then that was it?
She was in another episode where she ate with them.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. So she was kind of weary about who he was, but then she started eating, and then he was like paying attention to her eating, and then he was trying to like feed her mom as well. So she was kind of like, okay. So she didn't really think about asking his age or anything like that, right?
But he does like not that
they look similar in age. They look close in age.
She in this show when she cut her hair, she did look a bit older, like more mature in a sense, not like older looking. But it's funny because Miss O is
4 years younger than her.
I'm pretty sure they're the same age.
Yeah, her and Dae Young are the same age, which is funny. That's why he was like. That's why he kept saying he was older to her, because he didn't want to have to. Because I think she's just a year older than him.
Oh, because he didn't want to call her like Nuna or anything.
Yeah.
I feel like for her that would have been like the end.
Yeah.
She would have just been
that would have been fun. Oh man. Wait, so that was like one of the things that they didn't really touch. They obviously they touched on it, but didn't really elaborate on. They were just kind of like, her friend was like, yo, he's awesome. He's hot. He's hot. He's got manners. We're good. You got this. How could you set me up with my husband with that freaking loser?
Yeah.
You know.
But they also kind of touch on like, what is there, like 2 love triangles throughout the whole show. You have Ginny, and like
Dae Young, and then Soo Kyung.
Yeah, and then Dae Young, Soo Kyung,
and then Miss O.
Yeah.
And then you have Hak Moon, Soo Kyung, and Dae Young.
Yeah, like all of them.
Yeah.
So, I guess 3 technically.
Yeah.
So it's like there's 1,000,010 love triangles, and it shows you kind of like how people get over relationships, because
excuse me,
like her boss was like in love with her for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then she finally let him down after she finally realized who the heck he was. Poor guy.
That was bad.
Didn't remember him from college.
He didn't really make an impact. Obviously he made a little bit of an impact. Maybe if she was somebody else, they would remember him in a green friggin' tracksuit and.
Right? Like any guy that I saw every day in a green tracksuit, I would have just remembered that he wore a green tracksuit.
But she never paid attention to him, except for the one time where he gave her the pen, right? So that was interesting, because it's like, he didn't say anything, gave her the pen, and ran off.
Yeah, and then after 10 years later, it's like revenge.
Right, but it's like, how do you not remember that? This weirdo just walks up to you in a green tracksuit and gives you something all giddy and then runs off.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know.
But then
10 years later.
You see his growth in the whole show. You see he goes from a giddy schoolboy to a lawyer who wants revenge on her. And then once they finally start to kind of date, you realize that she's not interested and she'll never be interested. And he finally learns to kind of get over it and not hold back his feelings anymore.
Yeah. And it sucks for him because it was too late, right? Because he took so long thinking he wanted to get revenge on her. He wanted to pay her back for what she did to him. And then finally realizing that he actually liked her. So I think that was, in my opinion, he did not my God, I just lost my train of thought. He it took too long for him. Like he lost out because of that, because she was the whole, like her whole time working for him was, oh, he's a bad boss, not bad boss, but he's just a jerk. He's a jerk. He's a jerk.
He does treat her like shit the entire time. Like,
Well, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Anyways, but like because he wanted revenge, and then he realized, oh no, I don't want revenge. I actually like her, and that's what I mean. Like he was too late for him because she was already,
like it's hard
interacting with somebody else who
treats her better.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like it's hard for someone to just be like, "Oh, you like me. I like you now too." And like, no, that's not going to work.
But it's even hard for someone to be like, "Okay, well, you didn't treat me well for what, a good 9 years, and now you're going to come out and say you like me and treat me better." Like I get it. It's like unrequited love, whatever the word
unrequited
is.
love.
And it's like, I can't just change my feelings for you anymore. Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I personally like that, because if this was any other show, she would have ran to him and be like, oh, I love you. I'm like, no,
but
no,
it's
no.
about food, not love.
Exactly.
Well, love of food.
Exactly. And that's what like really brought them together, right? With Dae Young and Soo Kyung, where one of them loves food. Well, like, sorry, they both love food, but Dae Young has such a it's almost it's almost like he's studied food, but he's an insurance salesman who just loves food,
takes,
right?
What, 2 years sometimes.
So I thought that's really interesting. So that like love triangle was bound to fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
For Hak Moon. Right off the bat, you know what I mean?
Which sucks, because like in reality he's a nice guy.
Yeah, obviously he was just
wanted to be loved.
Yeah, the poor guy. So hopefully that girl at the end, you know,
I doubt it, but like at least not holding his feelings in anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And then there was the love triangle, like, so one part of the show that really got me was when Jinny saw Dae Young and Soo Kyung kiss, and she literally turned into the spoiled rich brat
that no one even met yet.
Yeah,
almost.
Like she went from happy-go-lucky, you know, not ditzy, but not even airhead. I want to say someone that's just naive. Very, very like naive about life kind of thing. Because she was in a
bubble.
Exactly. So, you saw that part of her. No one expected her to just kind of that switch to turn, because the guy that she likes somebody else, right? And that was interesting, because that shows you that you really need to pay attention to others, right? To your, especially, they're all friends, right? They're supposed to be friends, and no one really, I don't want to say paid attention to her, because he did pay attention to her, but he tried not to, because he Soo Kyung finally told him, like, it's to the way you treat like Jinny and Miss O, they think you're flirting with them because you're going a little too far.
But that's his insurance background, right? That's
that's
the whole sales thing.
That's
you
it.
want to flirt a bit to get more sales.
No, 100% agree with that. And that's like, it's hard to turn off, right?
Yeah. So,
but he's still a caring person, and that's why he right away thought of her as like a younger sister.
Yeah.
So, and then Soo Kyung, she had, obviously she has her own issues to deal with, but at the same time, like, she kind of didn't really pay much attention to her.
Which sucks, because I would have loved more storyline with her. She's so cute.
Yeah. And they well, the thing is, like, they got along, but she just didn't really.
She had her own life.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't like dealing with more people than she really needs to, and that's really what she was about.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. So that's what really, if they would have maybe paid it more attention, maybe not have kissed Actually, no, that doesn't even matter because they didn't even know she was gonna be there.
Yeah.
That I know of,
I
anyways.
think, like, maybe. No, like, honestly, for young girls, when they like a guy, they like a guy. And if let's say, it probably isn't her first crush, but let's say it's her first, like, hardcore crush. Like, when heartbreak happens, it happens and it hurts. But my whole thing was the delivery boy. She met him. She really liked hanging out with him. He was really
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah. No, he
And
was great.
like, why wouldn't you? Like, obviously, shifting your attention from one person to another isn't always easy. But like, why wouldn't you go for him instead? He seemed to like you before the whole like taking you onto a roof and almost throwing you off the ledge. But like,
But he went out. He purposely went for her, knowing who she was, because he wanted to know that he wanted, like he said it, he wanted to know how the trial was going, her dad's trial, because he wanted to make sure that he got jail time,
yeah,
right?
which he ended up getting jail time.
Because of him almost
Yeah.
throwing her off the roof. Granted, he didn't want to throw her off the roof.
No,
You
and
know
I
what
think
mean?
he did like her a bit.
Oh,
He just
yeah.
was like so frustrated because like his father, like obviously that sucks.
Yeah.
And like no one wants that. But I think a lot of standards in Korea are very lack, like at least in business maybe.
Yeah, they're very, it's, well, I feel like they do the same thing here anyways. But I mean, in these shows, they show that like a lot of these construction companies are corrupt and a lot of these politicians are corrupt. And it's like, yeah, okay, obviously here it's no different. Let's, Montreal, for example, let's
That's what
stop
I
it
was just
there.
thinking.
Let's stop it there. But I mean, I feel like that stuff happens more often than we know about.
I would
Excuse
believe
me?
it. Like I don't doubt that. It's
Yeah.
just it sucks. And
Yeah.
it's like for him to go about a relationship that way kind of sucks, but at the end I really like how they kind of rounded off um with his mom and like how much she cared about her even though
Yeah.
what happened to her father, like her husband and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well, as a parent, you know what I mean? I know it's different in different cultures, but as a parent, another, the, you cannot blame the child for something that the parent did, right?
But see, you say that, but in Korea,
But that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
like
saying.
that's
So,
pretty much how they
in the
marry everyone off. Like
that-
you
yeah.
can't get married if your parents are poor.
Well, yeah.
Well,
Anyways,
yeah,
that's,
you know what I mean.
but what I mean is like, the mom didn't want to blame the daughter for the stupid, like the corruption that her dad was causing, right? And I agree with that because it's not like the kid, if she was the one that was helping her dad extort and excuse me, and like and screw over people for money, okay, I get it, yeah,
Yeah.
obviously, but she didn't, and the mom understood that,
Yeah.
right? And that's how it should be. But I know in a lot of you'll see in a lot of these, in a lot of the shows, a lot of those, I think in any show across the world,
Yeah.
you'll see this happen a lot where the child is branded for what the parent did, right? Arabs do it. Our culture, we do it. You know what I mean? If if your dad screwed over that guy's dad, you know what I mean, the kid's gonna be pissed off at you. You know what I mean? At the other dad, or in all. You know what I mean? It's such a
Generational hate.
yeah. So, and in Korea you see it a lot, especially when it's like when it comes to like thriller dramas, murderers, if the kid is the son of a murderer, they're gonna be, oh, he's a murderer too. But it's like you can't say that. You know what I mean?
When it wasn't his fault.
Right? It's not like they would have, like, if the kid knew and helped, okay, maybe the kid will probably turn out that way. Maybe. I'm not saying he will.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that kid's gonna have some issues growing up,
Mm-hmm.
obviously.
Absolutely.
But like, if the kid didn't know, why would you brand the kid a murderer's son and screw up the rest of his life for something his father did when he had no connection to it?
Well, that's what I
You
don't
know?
understand. Like, why is that a thing? Like, I get, like, yeah, you kind of want to, like, if his father was still in the picture, you kind of want to stay away from that. But, like, if the father's in jail or whatever, it's not the kid's fault.
Exactly.
And if,
Exactly.
especially if he's trying to prove himself too, or she's trying to prove themselves, like, you want to give them the chance. Like, that shouldn't be the definition of their life.
Exactly. And that's like, you see, I haven't personally experienced it,
Mm-hmm.
thankfully.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully. Maybe because my dad, like, well, we're first generation
Yeah.
Canadians, so we didn't really, I don't know if my dad pissed off anybody.
Probably did. He
Maybe.
just kept it away from you guys.
Probably. Um, but I mean, he deals with his own stuff. He deals with it on his own,
Yeah.
away from us. So as long as it doesn't affect us, right?
That's what you want.
So I, yeah, you see it a lot. You see it a lot in these dramas. You see it a lot, and that's why this show, like, the mom at the end,
Mm-hmm.
didn't blame the didn't blame Ginny for what her dad did, and
And
that's
she's
great, and that's what it should be.
and she's pretty much just like welcoming her into the family because it seems like they're dating at this point.
Yeah, no, they were really cute together.
Yeah.
Actually, he was cute,
Mm-hmm.
cute kid. Every
Mm-hmm.
when they, after he after he when he brought him back
Mm-hmm.
after Ginny disappeared,
Yeah.
and they're in the cafe waiting for Soo Kyung, and he just kind of lifts his shoulder, like gets scared. That
Flinches.
was funny.
Oh my god.
Um, so the show was great,
Mm-hmm.
amazing, really great. Obviously, it's not like a fast paced show. It's not like a huge storyline. There was a side storyline of the guy just,
Assaulter, like
yeah,
a
yeah, like
random
random
assaulter.
assaulter just assaulting random women.
Yeah.
Um, the show is more about the relationships between each
Mm-hmm.
character. It's more of, it's really based on love of food.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So my question is, obviously this is like it's probably a thing everywhere in every country and whatever,
mhm.
but in Korea, is it a huge thing to kind of bond over food?
I mean, yeah,
Cause like a lot of their food is sharing platters, right?
yeah.
So does that make a
That's
difference?
what, yeah. That's a good question, because like I found that the Koreans are very similar to the Arabs,
Mm-hmm.
whereas we are very hospitable.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in Korea, if you invite someone out to eat,
Mm-hmm.
you're you're pouring their drink, they're pouring. You know what I mean? You don't. There's a
Yeah.
lot of like I won't say rules, but like etiquette,
Yeah.
right? Similar
Which you
to,
see in the show.
yeah, which is great because
I think I'd be lost, but that's okay.
yeah, yeah. But like with the Arabs, it's the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? And the food is very similar, not in like what we eat,
Yeah.
but in the sense of, like you're saying, like sharing platters. Like we
Mm-hmm.
have mezza,
Yeah.
they have sharing platters. Like they have,
Every type of food they have is sharing platters.
yeah,
Like, please
and
bring me. Feed me.
and like for example, like one of the first episodes, she wants to go to a really famous restaurant, but
Mm-hmm.
it only you can only go as a group because platters.
Oh yeah, it's four
It's a four
plus.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
four people sharing platter. Um, so that reminds me of when we would go out to like an Arabic restaurant, like an Arabic
Mm-hmm.
restaurant where it's mezza, and it's like you have to have at least four people to
Mm-hmm.
eat together. And that's I find that very similar to our culture,
Mm-hmm.
um, because food. I mean, when someone comes over, you want to
Mm-hmm.
offer them tea, and snacks.
Yeah.
When you invite, so like when your parents or my parents, whenever we had people over,
Yeah,
they
there's
would have a
always
feast,
yeah, there
right?
was always like tea, there was always chips
Yeah,
and nuts and
there was
like
everything. You had the snacks before, so the nuts,
yeah.
the mixed nuts on the table, the
Yeah.
kake, the
Chips, like
chips on the
everything.
table before dinner,
Yeah.
and then tea or coffee
Mhm.
before dinner, and then you would have the friggin' feast, so the table would be full of food,
Yeah.
right? And then you can eat, and this is similar to the Koreans where the older ajumas will feed you, and even if you say you're full, they're gonna keep feeding you because
Yeah.
you're not done eating. That's the same thing with the tetas in our
Oh my
freaking
god, my
in our
mother.
culture. You know, like my parents and your parents, like your mom doesn't stop feeding me. When I say I'm full, she doesn't like want me to
She doesn't
stop.
understand.
I say stop. When she's serving, putting food on the plate, like stop. And then there's
And
a
then four
mountain of
more
rice.
scoops later.
Oh, are you still hungry? No, I can't breathe. Like, can I go sleep? Like, I want to go into a coma now. That's where I find it very similar, where they're
Yeah.
very, like, the way, uh, just the food is a big part of our culture and
Mhm.
their culture, and a lot of cultures as well,
I think it's
right?
a bonding thing. I think.
I think it is, especially like when we went to Spain.
Mhm.
It was a lot of tapas, right?
Yeah.
Tapas, share, eat. That was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
Gotta say, I wish we tried more restaurants there, but that's okay.
whose fault is that? I'm kidding, just joking.
Your cousin's food was great. I loved it.
Yeah, well, she wouldn't stop feeding us
Yeah.
either. That's like when we went there. It's you have the Syrian Spanish mentality of feeding
Feeding
until
until you
full.
explode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I find our culture and their culture very
Mhm.
similar, especially when it comes to food.
Yeah.
Food's a big thing. I mean, to me, myself,
Mhm.
to the people that I know,
Yeah.
to my family,
Yeah.
food is a big thing.
Mhm.
Obviously, there are certain things that you know people don't eat,
Mhm.
but I mean, w- I love food, so I'll try anything new.
Mhm.
Um, and as I say, I try it more than once to make sure I don't like it. It's not just one bite, I don't like it. I gotta try
Mhm.
it at least two, maybe
Yeah.
three times, and then I'll say I don't like it.
Mhm.
Because you don't get the full taste of food just
Of
one
course.
bite. Doesn't give you no. I'm sorry, it doesn't do nothing. But yeah, so that's very similar, very
Mhm.
similar.
Um. Oh my god! I just lost my train of thought. I can't think anymore.
Um, the food. It's all about food, anyways. In this show, what was surprising, actually, I think it was all Korean food.
I know they had Italian at one point,
Oh, they did have Italian, and then
and
they
I think they
had
had pizza too.
Chinese. Did they have pizza? Oh yeah, they
Yeah, they
had
had
pizza. Well,
pizza.
isn't that Italian? Oh well,
Well, pizza
yeah,
and pasta is different though.
yeah. Yeah, and then they had Chinese.
Chinese.
Um,
I don't think they had anything
not
other than
much.
that.
Yeah, not much, but the variety
Mhm.
of Korean food is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I feel like restaurants there specialize in a certain dish. Like here, you can go to a restaurant and you have 100 different options to choose from. But I feel like there, the smaller shops, they give out
Yeah, I think
one or
so.
two, maybe five options, and
Yeah.
that's about it. Which I really think is the way to do it.
Yeah, I agree. That's true. They have especially like doing research and stuff like that. It's a
Hmm.
lot of like specialized like chukbal or jjamyeon or ramyeon. You know what I mean? Or they have restaurants like Japanese
Hmm.
restaurants, sushi restaurants,
But are they
and stuff
as
like that.
extensive as ours? So, like, if you go to a Chinese restaurant here, you're looking at like at least a
Yeah, but
thousand
that's
items,
yeah, but
though.
that watching like the oh my god, David Chang when he went to China.
Yeah.
Um, it seems like that's the way it is there too. Cause he went,
That's
he would go to,
bizarre.
yeah, he would go to a restaurant and just, I guess the more choices the better to
But
them.
like, how do you
I don't know.
like
Don't ask me.
I like to cook and everything, and I like to boast that I can cook a decent meal, but I don't know if I can master 100 different things. And I know there's obviously more than one cook in the kitchen in these places, but like, how do you remember everything?
Oh man, that's why like props to them for being able to be like that one dish that's never ordered, someone's gonna order it and then you can still make it.
Oh
Yo,
my god.
props to you, man.
Yeah, honestly.
I want food now. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
yeah,
I really like the show. I like the relationships that you get to see. I like her. I know she obviously doesn't like her job because she's
yeah.
like, it's a mediocre job, which is fine. Like, people work in mediocre places for a while.
That's another thing. Was she kept mentioning like, oh, they don't want an older woman working in a law firm, and I find that
Yeah,
like,
that sucks.
yeah, I mean, your age shouldn't matter because I know here
You can,
you can any age as long as you've been working there they'll
yeah,
keep you there as long as you're good.
yeah.
I've met older women who that have, oh my god, I can't speak. I know I used to work with a lady who her husband used to had a law firm. He was a lawyer and
Okay.
had a law firm. She worked for him
Oh
and
wow.
till pretty much until he died,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Um, but like she was older,
Mhm.
she was older. I've met other women who worked in law firms as well who were all
Mhm.
older, not as lawyers, but like either as, you know what I mean, as the
Mhm.
assistants, paralegals, or whatever.
But even in just generalized workforces, like look at the company I work with. They're like, I work with people that are 45 years and older. Like
Mm-hmm,
that,
mm-hmm.
they still like their lives are dedicated to this job essentially. Like
Yeah,
sometimes older women are better because like they're done with their children.
I mean,
They're
yeah, and like what I don't,
There's no prejudice against the children either. Please don't say anything. I love kids.
yeah, we have, yeah. So, but yeah, like I get it because even like I've always worked with older women.
You still
I
do?
still do. Like I've been working since I was 17.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I've been working since I was 17 because I couldn't get a job before then. Just saying, guys. Just saying.
Not even McDonald's would hire him.
No, I applied like at 15, 16. I was applying Tim Hortons. I applied McDonald's. I applied Giant Tiger. I applied any place that would take a resume.
Hmm.
Canadian Tire, where all my friends got jobs, but I didn't.
They took all of them.
They took all of them and then left me. Anyways, but like at 17,
Hmm.
I've working since I was 17. I've always worked with older women.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of the older women that I worked with have been working for wherever I was working for such a long time. So they grew, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
within the workplace. So I mean,
Well, yeah, they were all
if
like mama figures, pretty
oh yeah,
much.
yeah, they took care of me. That was the
Yeah.
greatest part. Except for a couple of them, they're
Oh,
yeah.
it's always a couple.
There's always a couple that don't like me.
Hmm.
Um, one. So Soo Kyung, like at 35, working in a law firm, like if she's there for another 10 years, like
Hmm.
it shouldn't matter,
Like she's
in
not
my
even
opinion.
married. So I
No, well,
know
that's a yeah.
I know a whole thing against women is like if they're younger, they're getting married, they're gonna have kids. I
Hmm.
hate it.
Hmm.
I think it's so stupid. And like sometimes women are better suited to some jobs. But anyway, she's not even married. She's not like she's divorced.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think she's gonna have kids.
Okay. So you brought it up, and I know I'm gonna switch over. Sorry, but she's divorced.
Yeah.
That's another big thing within our culture and
Yeah.
and the Korean culture. And I think, yeah, and a few. Off the top of my head, I know like other cultures as well are not too fond of it. But when a woman or a man divorces, it's less so for a man,
Which
right?
is stupid.
Of course. It's just like, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah. Don't even, yeah. I agree. And then, but women being divorced and then dating again, you know what I mean? Or getting married again.
Yeah.
They always set the standards super low, where it's like, oh, you're divorced, you're a divorcee. Okay, we'll find you someone who's divorced, no kids or whatever. You know what I mean?
Well,
and
look at
it's
the
like...
first guy that she went on a date with. Like, first of all, he's shorter than her. Second of all, like, I don't even...
Yo, no prejudice against short men.
No, that's not even what it was. It was just he was a weirdo and like...
Yeah, he was... Yeah.
Oh, I forget like the whole thing. Like... Oh, never mind. But like he like literally left her in line.
Yeah, he left her in line, and then he came back. He called her later, and or no, did she call him or he called her?
No, I think he called him.
Oh, that's right.
Or
Okay,
her.
no,
Wow.
he called her. They went to that restaurant again.
And then he
And
just
then
ate rice or kimchi.
Yeah, because he was allergic.
Yeah.
But then they went back to hit her place, and he's like, "Oh, I need to
right.
use your bathroom," and then
Oh, that's
tried
right,
to
that's
like,
right.
you know, he tried to like, yeah,
It's like
he
I'm
tried
not
to like pretty much rape her,
interested.
like,
Well, came on to her.
yeah.
No
Anyways,
thanks.
yeah. So, but yeah, so divorce, like, being divorced, it's like a big like, oh my God, you're divorced? Oh God. And it's like, it's not that big of a deal. Especially like
work.
if you're in North America, if you're an
Yeah.
immigrant and you're in North America, half the people here are are divorced. Half the people around the world are divorced. Like it's nothing new,
Yeah.
and things just didn't work out, and we're just gonna move on. You know what I mean? Like, I will. I know in some religions it's not an option, but I feel like I will have to disagree with that, because if things cannot work between you two, between a couple,
You deserve
you
to find
deserve,
happiness.
yeah, you deserve to separate and live the lives that you want to live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't be forced to stay with somebody just because your religion or your parents or your culture says
Well, it
you shouldn't be
also
divorcing.
comes down to also like, are you in an abusive relationship, mentally, physically, emotionally? Like whether it's the women
Yeah.
doing this to a man or a man doing this to a woman, I feel like the other person should have an out and should be able to have an out. And a lot of these religious factions, sometimes they don't, and these people are stuck, and it sucks, and
and
they don't deserve it.
It is, and that's that's exactly it. Like, they don't deserve it. You deserve, you know what I mean? Even if we'll say there's no abusive relationship, we'll say it's just a normal relationship, and then you're just like, well, I don't like you anymore. You shouldn't, if you don't have those feelings for the person anymore, don't stay because you're comfortable.
Well,
and
that's
then
the biggest thing, though,
and
right?
then someone ends up cheating.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if the person cheats, don't be like, oh, he cheated, I'm gonna go cheat. Just separate.
It's not one
Just
an eye for an eye.
separate.
It's,
Like, just separate.
yeah.
Get it over with.
Anyways, back to the whole working thing. Tangent. Yeah, I didn't understand like the whole thing, like why she couldn't. First of all, she had, I don't know what her background was in education. She went to college and
She
did
went to law.
something.
I'm pretty sure it was law, but I don't know. I
But
can't
like, it
remember.
sucks that she finds her job mediocre. Honestly, here to be a law clerk or even just a secretary for a law firm is a really good thing. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a good job.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, if you are well liked and you do your job well, you're gonna keep your job here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for you to leave
She must have a degree. Like, she must have her degree
in something.
in something, if that's her thought process, right? I mean,
But is it because she's divorced that she can't get a better job? Does that matter there?
no, not necessarily, as long as you don't mention it.
As long as you don't mention it.
Well, I don't know. I'm not saying that this is how it works there. Okay.
Oh my God.
But there's a lot of issues even here in North America.
But you can't ask those type of questions.
You cannot,
though.
but they will look at your age, especially here. So
Well,
that's why
yeah.
we had a big a few years back, especially in the government, we had an issue of pay equality, where men were getting paid more than women, even though they were doing the same jobs.
Yeah.
Right. And that's still a big issue, right? And women won't get paid as much as men, because they won't even get looked at, right? Because the woman, depending on their age, like you're mentioning before,
between 25 and 35.
they're either gonna get married and have kids, one or the other. You know what I mean, or both.
Yeah.
Right, and they don't want that, because they're gonna come in, they're gonna get trained, they're gonna work, and then they're going on maternity leave.
Yeah.
Right, and some women don't go back after maternity leave. One, because the job sucks, or two, because the job sucks.
And that's how they get out of the job.
Right. But it's not just there. It's a lot of,
everywhere. Yeah.
especially like in like our culture.
Yeah.
Even though women are supposed to be put on a pedestal, we don't. They're treated differently, right?
Well, even her friend was saying to her, like, go get married and just stay home with the kids or something. And it's like, why is that your life goal?
How is she how is she a stay-at-home wife on one income? I want to know this. I want to know how much
how
much her husband's getting paid.
Is like the parents' apartment, and they just live there.
That would make the most sense.
Right?
That would honestly make the most sense, because then they're not paying for rent, they're paying just for food.
Yeah.
But I mean, I want to know how they're doing it, because I want to do it.
But like, what a shitty mentality to think. Like, what if a woman enjoys working? Like, what if that is, like, we've discussed having, like, if we decide to have children, like, what we would want to do. Would we want to split the leave? Would I go back to work right away?
I mean, besides children, if we could do it, I would have you working all the time, and I would be the stay-at-home husband. I'll cook and clean for you any day of the week if I get to stay home all day.
And do nothing.
I would do stuff. I'd be cleaning.
Yeah, okay. Like
ish.
You know.
But yeah, we're moving towards, like, as a society here,
towards a better system.
A better system. We still need to better the system. Like,
well, I think we need to better the system everywhere. I think women deserve the same pay as men. I'm sorry.
100%.
I think a lot of the time,
nobody, regardless of age, race, or gender, or, you know what I mean, or anything, any if you're a human being, and you get a job as, we'll say you get a job as a lawyer, okay, and that other human being, regardless of what he or she looks like, gets the same job, and they start at the same time, they should be getting paid the same exact rate, unless he started a week earlier and the collective agreement changed, and you know what I mean, he gets a foot up, right? Like that's it. Collective agreement. That's it.
But I also think
should be getting paid the same no matter what.
A lot of jobs women are better. Like, I'm sorry, men. But like the job that I work right now, we've had guys come in.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is detail oriented. You need like facts and information, and you need to fill in forms properly. And sometimes all men.
Some guys are not good at that.
But a lot of guys are not good at that.
Yeah.
They don't see the finer picture, and
That's
it's
fine.
like you kind of need it sometimes.
That's fine. That like not all, not all men are good at the jobs they do, and not all women are good at the jobs that they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It all comes down to
just pay the same wage.
You pay the same wage. Pay the same wage. They like if Jane is a law clerk and Jim is a law clerk and they both started September 1st, 2025, they should be getting paid the same rate, right? If Jim is making $30 an hour and Jane is doing the exact same job as he is, she should be getting paid $30 an hour. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, there should be no difference whether, Jim is African American, 25 years old, you know what I mean, and married, you know what I mean, and Jane is engaged and white, I don't know, with 2 kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
They should, no matter what, same rate, same rate. They started at the same time. They should. The only time that they should not be making the same rate is if Jane started in September 1st and Jim started in September 1st of the following year.
Yeah, because you would have gotten a raise. By
Jane
then.
should, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jane should still be ahead of him because of the rate of her raise, right? But they should be paying. Their starting wage should have been the same.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think it sucks that she. I don't know.
I know it's a really weird thing, and like,
fine.
I mean, we just have to be better as a society.
Not
Like,
only here, but
everywhere.
else too.
The entire planet needs to be
Yeah.
better as a society. You know what I mean? Like, we're all human.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Yeah.
So
Anyways, at the end of the whole show, it just seemed like the office was a better place to work once her boss was no longer a jerk or trying to like be her boyfriend.
yeah.
And Miss O was now on TV just to boost up her ego a bit more.
Oh man, we're not going into that. I'm sorry. That ego was too big.
Oh, the entire show, eh? Like, there was only at one point where she was knocked down.
Yeah, she broke down because she finally found out they both didn't like her.
Yeah.
They both like Soo Kyung,
Yeah.
and that like destroyed her ego. And that was like, you should have, like, because your ego was so big that you couldn't see this before. You didn't see the signs.
She was a great actress, though. She is amazing.
I
She was
love her.
She was in another show I watched. Oh, what was it?
She was in.
Oh, she was in. I think wasn't it? Oh My Ghost.
No. She was in
a ghost
she was
show.
yeah. It was Let's Fight Ghosts with Taekyon
Oh
and
yeah,
Kim
yeah,
Soo
yeah.
Hyun.
She just like came back.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she's so good.
She was amazing in that show. She's amazing overall. Like,
Yeah, she's a great actress.
Great. Yeah, so good show, great
Yeah.
actors, great
Closed
actresses.
on
Yeah.
what else? Food. All the
Food.
closing scenes were on food.
It was all food. Even like the side story of assault and stuff like that.
It was
Food.
based on food.
Food. We gotta love food.
Yeah, no, I feel like I learned a bit about food from the show and like how like Korean food is just so like obviously I don't like certain things because I'm a picky eater over here, but like it just looks so good.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like I can't wait to be able to travel again and to go and just eat.
Oh, food. Oh my god.
But yeah.
So,
I liked
yeah.
it. It was a great show. Let us know if you want us to talk about Let's Eat 2.
And maybe 3.
And maybe 3.
Yeah, we're still gonna watch them, but like, we can do. It's up to you guys if
Yeah.
you guys want to.
Comment down below.
Yeah, and we'll do those too.
Yeah.
Let us know if there's any specific shows you guys want us to talk about.
Yeah. As always, like and subscribe on all platforms so you can see what we're up to and what we're doing. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Sounds good. We'll see you later.
Bye.